You were told that if you checked the right boxes, you would be free. Get the degree, get the job, buy the house, find the partner, have the kids, travel, retire. And somewhere along that timeline, freedom would greet you with open arms. You worked hard. You aced the tests. You climbed the ladder. You bought the couch that looked like it belonged in a magazine. You took photos in front of monuments and posted them for the world to see. People commented, "Living your best life?" And for a moment, you felt that maybe you were. But at night, when the photos were no longer on screen and the silence returned, you felt the same restlessness. You realized you had won the life they told you to want and still felt caged. The cage wasn't made of bars. It was made of expectation, comparison, debt, roles, and the need to be seen. You began to suspect that the freedom you'd been chasing was as real as a mirage. You started to wonder, what is freedom really? And what must you know to set yourself free? You are about to find out that you are not free if you must be seen. Our culture sells false freedoms. Money promises freedom. We believe that if we have enough money, we can do whatever we want. Money does bring choice, but it can also become a chain. The bigger the paycheck, the more we fear losing it. The more we accumulate, the more we must ensure, maintain, and protect. Status promises freedom. We strive for titles and recognition to feel important. But status is precarious. It depends on others' opinions. A downturn in the market, a change in trends, a new competitor. Suddenly, you are back at square one. Rebellion as costume promises freedom. We dye our hair, quit our jobs, travel the world, declare ourselves free spirits. But if our rebellion is a performance, if we are still living to be seen as cool or unconventional, we are not free. We've swapped one costume for another. True freedom is internal. It begins with sovereignty over your attention. You cannot be free if your mind is owned by devices and algorithms. Notifications dictate when you look. Ads dictate what you desire. Feeds dictate how you feel. When you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your life. This doesn't mean abandoning technology. It means using it instead of it using you. Turn off non-essential notifications. Schedule times to check your phone. Notice how your body feels when you scroll mindlessly versus when you are present. Attention is the currency of consciousness. Spend it intentionally. Freedom is also values-led choices. External freedom is about options. Internal freedom is about alignment. It is possible to have unlimited options and feel trapped because none align with your values. Take time to discern your values. What matters to you? Integrity, creativity, compassion, adventure. Once you know your values, use them as a filter. When an opportunity arises, ask, does this align with my values? If it doesn't, no matter how lucrative or glamorous, it's not for you. Values are an internal compass. They keep you from getting lost in the noise of shoulds. When you choose based on values, you experience peace. You no longer agonize over decisions because your compass points one way. You stop living for approval because you live for alignment. Saying no is a radical act of freedom. Children learn to say no as an assertion of autonomy. Adults unlearn it to keep the peace. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you betray yourself. The betrayal might seem small, but it accumulates. It leads to resentment and burnout. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you honest. It frees you to say yes to what truly matters. If the idea of saying no fills you with guilt, start small. Decline an invitation to a gathering that drains you. Turn down a project that doesn't align with your goals. Over time, saying no becomes a boundary rather than a confession. Your yes will mean something because it comes from choice, not obligation. Self-betrayal is the root of many cages. Every time you ignore your intuition, silence your voice, or stay in a place that harms you. You reinforce the bars. Self-betrayal often stems from fear. Fear of being alone, fear of disapproval, fear of uncertainty. But the cost of betraying yourself is higher than any potential consequence of following your truth. The cost is your freedom. To set yourself free, you must practice radical honesty. Tell yourself the truth about what you feel, want, and believe. Tell the truth to others, even when it's uncomfortable. Truth is like a key. Lies create labyrinths. When you lie, you must remember what you said, anticipate consequences, maintain facades. When you tell the truth, you may face immediate discomfort, but you are free. There's nothing to hide. Debt is a literal chain. Financial debt limits your choices. It keeps you tethered to jobs you hate and locations you despise. To free yourself, examine your relationship with money. Ask what you're buying and why. Does the purchase serve your values or fill a void? Create a plan to pay off debt. It may be slow, but each payment is a step toward freedom. Minimalism can aid this. Owning less means less maintenance, less insurance, less worry. It doesn't mean deprivation. It means intentionality. It means choosing quality over quantity. It means valuing experiences over possessions. When you free yourself from debt and clutter, you feel lighter. Forgiveness is freedom. Resentment is a bar. When you hold on to anger towards someone, you carry them with you everywhere. They occupy mental space. They influence your mood and choices. Forgiveness is not condoning their behavior. It is releasing your need for revenge. It is cutting the cord that ties you. Forgiveness can be a process. Start by acknowledging the hurt. Allow yourself to feel it. Then decide whether you want to continue carrying this weight. Sometimes you forgive for your own sake because you want to be free. You may never get an apology. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. It does not require the other person's involvement. It is an internal act of liberation. Freedom practices include keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say you'll wake up at 6 and you do, you reinforce your trust in yourself. Every time you commit to a workout and follow through, you build integrity. When you trust yourself, you are free. You don't need external accountability to do what you said you'd do. You become your own anchor. This builds confidence. It reduces anxiety because you know you can rely on yourself. Keeping promises to yourself can be as simple as drinking more water, journaling for 5 minutes, or calling a friend. These small acts compound. They create a self that is free because it is consistent. Freedom isn't a destination. It isn't a place you arrive and then relax forever. It is an ongoing practice. It is a person you become, line by line. Each choice you make either tightens your chains or loosens them. Each moment you choose presence over performance, honesty over hiding, alignment over approval. You write another line in your freedom story. This story is not about perfection. It is about awareness and adjustment. You will slip back into cages. You will agree to things you don't want. You will seek validation. When you notice, gently redirect. Apologize if needed. Forgive yourself. Keep going. The chain snapping in slow motion is not just a metaphor. It is a sensation. It is the tension in your chest easing when you tell the truth. It is the release in your shoulders when you delete an app that steals your joy. It is the deep breath you take when you finally walk away from something that looked good but felt wrong. It is the lightness that arrives when you stop needing to be seen. You realize that freedom has been available all along. It was never in the things you accumulated or the roles you played. It was in the moments you chose yourself. It was in the times you listened to your own voice. It was in the acts of courage that no one applauded. Set yourself free, not by burning down your life, but by illuminating it. Bring awareness to what you consume, what you tolerate, what you believe. Cultivate Cultivate sovereignty over your attention. Align your choices with your values. Say no when needed. Pay off what you owe. Forgive. Tell the truth. Keep promises to yourself. Freedom will not arrive with fireworks. It will unfold quietly as you live with integrity. And one day, you will look around and realize you are no longer performing. You are no longer seeking. You are simply being. You have become the person who is free.